Yeah, we're going to continue the conversation. I think we're joined now online by a superstar who trended on social media a few days ago. We're going to be asking her why. Stella Damasus is here with us. Stella, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Very well, thank you very much. How's December treating you? Is it dirty enough
Oh,
yet?
good. It's looking like it'll be dirty. It's looking like it.
So good to see you. It's been a long, long, long time. And
Yes.
it was very interesting to see you all over Twitter about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. And it was interesting that so many
Mhm.
people didn't even understand that your surname was not what it was. I mean, I've always known it was Damasus.
Mhm.
But so many people who I even thought knew, were shocked at the revelation. Were you as shocked as a lot of people were?
I I was shocked, I won't lie, because over the years I'd corrected this, I'd said it in so many other interviews, so I thought people had caught on by then, but I was so shocked. Like they drew my attention to it, and I'm like, what? People still think I had to address it, but I could understand why a lot of people would just stay true to that name because that's what they got used to and they just didn't bother to change it. So, but it was fun. I saw comments that really blew my mind and I laughed. I laughed a lot.
But the one question I think I saw a lot, which you know how to explain to us, is what is Damasus?
So Damasus is my grandfather's first name. It's a
Oh.
Greek name. My original surname was Ojuku, but that changed during the war, during the Biafran War, where
Oh.
my people were attacked in Asaba because they thought that it was the same Ojuku as Odumegu and all of that. So they changed it even before I was born. So I was born into Damasus. And when I asked why, that was the reason they gave me. So I can't do anything about it now. So,
Well,
yeah.
now that makes sense because I just kept wondering, did you just deliberately remove the C to confuse to confuse all of us?
No, no.
Well, that makes sense. Well, how have you been? How have you been? Because you are a pioneer, you are an icon for a lot of people. You've done great stuff. You're also one of the few, to be honest, at the time who seemed like they knew what they were doing, in Nollywood. And the industry has evolved in so many ways, and it's at a point now where it looks like things are about to get crazy in a good way. We have all the streaming platforms coming in. What are your thoughts on Nollywood from when you started off and where it is now?
I'm very excited about where Nollywood is now. And that's because we are finally being seen, because the world heard about Nollywood. They heard about the quantity and all of that. But now they are seeing us. A lot of people knew about us, but hadn't seen our content, didn't know who we were, our personalities, and what we had to offer. But now we're global. People are seeing us, they know our movies. Even white people will see you on the streets and they're like, I've seen that face before. Are you on Netflix or something? Are you on Amazon? And I'm happy because this is what we have always wanted for the world to see us, not just hear us, know our stories, know who we are. And, our seat at the table is guaranteed now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exciting. I'm excited about that. Yeah.
When was your first movie?
That was 95 into 96. That was
Wow.
Abused. That was my very first. I had no idea what I was doing, but but I went for it. That was
That's a
my first.
really,
Yeah. And
really.
I got it by accident. Yeah. I
What
didn't
do you mean by
plan.
accident? Oh,
I
go on.
so I didn't plan to be an actor, a professional actor. I thought I was going to be a singer because I worked in the studio. So a friend of mine came to my house one day and was like, "Oh, I'm going for an audition. I want to get a role in one movie." I lived in Surulere, so she was going to Ikeja. And I went with her and I saw tons of people standing outside under the sun. I'm like, what kind of life is this? Just to get work, you have to suffer and stand there and be waiting to be called in. So she went in and came out, and as we were about to leave, someone saw me and said, "Have you auditioned?" I said, "No, I haven't. I didn't come here for that." And he said, "Oh, well, I like the way you sound and I like your look. Come in and read." I'm like, "Read what?" So I thought it was a joke. I went in there, they gave me a script. I just read. I didn't know what I was doing and I left. But he took my details. And then 3 weeks later, they come to me in the studio and they say, "Oh, someone's looking for you." And it's the guy. He comes with a female producer and they're like, "You got the part and we're going to pay you
Wow.
for it." I'm like, are you kidding? So
That's a very
that's
interesting
what I mean by
story.
accident. That's how I started,
Yeah,
really. So
26 years ago. So you were an abused. What was your pay for that movie?
10K, you got 10,000. My salary then was 700.
Oh,
when I
wow.
was
So that
working
was
in
a
the
big
studio.
jump.
700. Well, I didn't even play lead though. I was just one of the other major characters, but they paid me 10,000 naira for a few days of work. I'm like, I love it. This is where I want to be.
This is where I want to be. I don't blame you at all. You know, so when you look back now, I know it's a bit of an awkward or weird question, looking at where you started, how you started, you know, and what the industry is doing today. Is there some sort of, I wish this was how things were then? Or are you happy enough that you're part of this, you know, story and the history of what this industry has become?
Mixed feelings
Honestly.
about that. I wish we had the kind of information and technology and training when I started. I wish we had all the opportunities that they have now. But now I'm wishing that we're able to tell the kind of stories that we used to tell then, so that we can mix those stories with the technology that we have now and knock it out of the park. Because I feel that we are still struggling with telling authentic stories that people can identify with easily, you know. I see us trying to do what Oyibo is doing. You cannot blow up car past Oyibo. You cannot fly past Oyibo. You can't jump down the helicopter, you know. So now, even if you notice, a lot of people from Hollywood are coming to Africa to tell our stories. And I'm like, I think it's more authentic when we do it than when you force people to try and sound like us. You know?
All right.
But we have history. We have history. We have stories that our children don't know about. And it's very strong and impactful when we realize the power that we have as storytellers to change the narrative for our kids to know our history, for us to know who we are and where we're going.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and continue this conversation and also find out, you know, what your plans are. And, you know, Lagos has missed you. We'll find out if you're going to come see us soon. We'll take a break and be right back. All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, before the break, I was having a conversation with Nollywood legend. I know we use that word very loosely, but she's one person who definitely deserves it. Stella Damasus is with us. Thanks a lot for staying with us. Like I said before the break, I was saying, I mean, I feel like you haven't been here in a while. I know you're doing some work as well over there in America where you currently reside. Do you miss Nollywood? Being, I mean, when I say Nollywood, I mean being in Lagos, doing, you know, the day-to-day sort of hustle. And why are you not back yet?
No, but I come. Like, I was there in 2018, and then I was also there in beginning of 2020. Yeah, I was there. I made a film called Zikora when I came in 2020. I come once in a while and I do work. I miss Lagos a lot. I miss the life. I miss the, you know, the hustle and bustle of it. I miss family and friends and all that. And I know that I'll be coming in more often. You know, when you come to America, it's not the way people make it seem. It's a hustle to settle in, to make sure, you know, you have your feet on the ground properly. And then when everything is fine, then you can start, you know, globetrotting again. So I do miss it, and I won't be coming home very often.
When you see the industry today, because I like to ask this of a lot of you who have been through all of it with Nollywood, you know, do you honestly think, you know, actors today have it easier? You know, there's a term that some people find offensive that they call Instagram actors, you know, people who get roles because they have a certain number of followers, you know, or they look a certain way, you know, almost as if people believe some people don't earn it enough anymore. Do you think they have an easy pass these days?
I wouldn't say easy pass, but I would say that things are faster for them because, again, of technology. In my time, we would have to go to certain designated places in Lagos, Winnie's, the National Theatre. There's some different hotels and different places. You will have to really go there and check on the board to see where the auditions will be and what time. And then you have to come again and stand in line. But now people get information from social media, from WhatsApp. Sometimes they don't even have to do in-person auditions. They do their self-tape auditions from home, from wherever they want. And it's much easier now. But the danger in that is when it's like that, when it's fast and everybody's pouring in, the chances of your longevity in terms of your career, they become slimmer. because then it's like cut and paste. There's so many people doing the same thing, entering the same way. And I won't lie, I've heard of situations where people get roles because they have a large following on Instagram. That's the only reason they got those roles, and they don't deserve it. And when you watch the films, you will actually see the difference in what they do as opposed to people who really do have the talent. So it's one of the things that scare me the most, the influence or the effect that social media has on the industry right now. It has helped the industry, but it's also kind of crippling a certain area when it comes to pure talent, So every industry has their wala.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Winnie's Bar there, and I just had so many. I mean, I never went there for audition, obviously, but it was one of those names anybody who was a fan of Nollywood back in the day had so many times. And I wonder if we ever have a Hall of Fame. I think it should be built on that ground, because I feel like every Nollywood actor has a Winnie's story. What are you working on now? I mean, you said you are going to come back more often. Are there projects you're excited about that you're looking forward to working on? I know you also produce. Is that more your thing now than acting?
No, I try to strike a balance. First of all, there are so many producers that have reached out to say, whenever you're in Nigeria, or when you're coming, just let us know, because we have work that we want you to do lined up. So I'm excited about that. But for here, I just finished a short called Akuna. We've been promoting it because it's not out yet. We're about to release it. One of the most daring things that I have done. You're an Igbo man, so you know what Akuna means. So we just did that, and we're about to do something else. We're trying to turn it into a TV series eventually, which is what we're working on right now, trying to work on the script and all the elements that should go into it. I'm doing more content creation for other people because of my company. Everybody has to have hustle in America. So I have a media company here, and I do a lot of content for other people. We do commercials, we do TV shows, we produce their podcasts and all of that. So I'm trying to get my hands into as many things as I can that are media related. But I'm excited about the future, because there's a movie that I'm trying to put together, and I'm just hoping that everything works out the way we want it to. But yeah, work is going on. I'm producing, I'm acting side by side. So
yeah. Who's exciting you now in the scene? Whether new or old, or let me not say old, someone who's been around for a bit, or someone who's new, who's caught your attention and you're like, okay, maybe I'd like to work with this person?
There are a lot of them. I don't know where to start from. Thankfully, I've worked with Bimbo Ademoye. I'm crazy about Bimbo. I haven't had the opportunity of working with Adiswa, and she's not new. She's been there, but she's my body. I love that girl. Jemima, the guys. Michael Ejo is amazing. Oh, I love that one. I love Michael. Who else? There's so many of them. I see them, and thankfully, I have Iroko, I have Ibaka. I have, which one again? There's so many.
So you're keeping tabs.
There's so many platforms that I have. Yeah, I keep up. I try to keep up as much as I can with what's going on. So I'm seeing all of these people, and there's some that I'm really so proud of. I love what they do, but I want to come back and work with. I would love to work with Samdede again. I would love to work with Bimbo Manuel again, Auntie Abele Okaro, Kate Henshaw. Mariana Paulo. There's so many of them that I miss them. I really want to work with them. But the new people, man, they are like, I'm like, what? F.I. Wara, that's another one I like. I'm like, what? Okay. So yeah.
Okay, before we go now, because we had mentioned earlier, before we went on the break, about the stories sort of being an issue for you. Because I wanted to ask, what do you think is the missing link still in Nollywood? Do you think it's the stories? Do you think they're not authentic enough still?
For the most part, yes. I'm hoping, for instance, the last Oscars, the Nigerian movie that made it into, I think, top 10 or so, or top 15, Milkmaid. That was a story about terrorism.
That was a beautiful movie.
And very beautiful. And a lot of our people didn't get to see it. And I wish they did, for them to understand what the international world is looking for. When they say best international film, they are looking for authentic stories about your culture. They are looking for stories that are done in your language. You know, they are looking for stories to show your costume, your tradition, your laws. How do you live as a people? You know, what is intriguing about where you're from and stuff like that. And we have so many of those. We have a lot of books that have been written by the best African Nigerian writers. And I'm wondering, why haven't we started optioning books to turn them into movies? Because there's so many of them that will blow our minds. And also, I'm just hoping that we get to the point where we can start to, you know, look at these things and not just, oh, I have 100K, write any story for me. Just make sure that they love the boy.
Yeah.
You know, let's be more intentional about it. Yeah. That's what I mean.
Thank you so much for joining us, Stella Damasus. I think I have a colleague of yours here in the studio whom I just want to say hi before we go on a break. You guys, I don't know how far back you guys go.
We've known ourselves for about
Adama is here. Can you see her?
Oh my God! I love her! Oh,
Stella, hi. I love you too, you know that.
Oh, I love you so much.
But you know I love you too.
Yeah,
so my 10% in whenever this collaboration happens for facilitating this. Thank you so much, Stella, for joining us. We're going to go on a break now and come back to have this conversation right here with Ada Ahmed. Don't go away.
Thank you.